Ugh.
Hey, Monday Movie Club fans who don't watch our videos. This week we went to the movies to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm Frank Gaffney. Here with me is Joel, drinking.
Hi, sorry.
In the morning, Joel, really?
Yeah.
Annie King, also drinking. This must be a thing going on. Amy Goldfuck, who's drinking. He's eating more. What's for breakfast?
I'm eating a frozen banana with cookie butter.
Okay. And Mark Woltitz Gardner, who has the picture up, so that means he liked this movie.
Hi.
It's a tell. It's a tell.
Yeah.
All right. So the whole reason we started this group actually was to watch the MCU movies. We watched all 24 of them at the time, and now we're up to number 32. Hey, maybe we should start all over again. You know, it was 2 years ago.
I'm ready to go.
Can we skip the ones we all didn't like?
You're saying yes, we should start over again.
I'd rewatch it. How many times have we said I need to watch this one again?
Yeah, I know.
We've rewatched several of them in the last 6 months. So
Wow.
Yeah, throw some on.
Did you watch both Guardians before this one?
no, we
Joel?
did Guardians 1 a few months ago. We did the second 2 Captain Americas recently.
Joel,
Two
that's not like
Ant-Mans.
you.
It's not, but I haven't had the time. I did rewatch the holiday special before this, so.
Okay. Well, so this is the third volume. Volume 1 was 2014. Volume 2 was in 2017. And then we had the whole James Gunnagate. I mean, really, bringing up tweets that he wrote, was it 10 years before that?
Yeah.
I mean, the world changes in 10 years. Give me a break. And then he came back. So he wrote and directed it, and he does both of them very well here. Lots of fun camera movement, and the story moves along nicely. And this is his farewell, right, to MCU. Yep. Yeah. So now he's going to be a DCer. God love it. Okay, so where he fumbled for me was the soundtrack. Good
Oh my
Lord.
God.
I didn't know even one song. Now here, tell me this. So Star-Lord was on Earth for when he was a kid in the 70s, right? That's why his mother gave him this music. He knows this music. Where did he get music from the 90s?
The MP3 player.
No, there was only music from the 70s on it. Yeah, I know. I saw later it had 70s, 80s, 90s. He only chose to listen to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, I didn't know any of the songs, honestly. And the only one I did know was the one from the original movie. Hey, man.
see, but hold on. I you know I'm going to bring this up later anyway, but I wouldn't say it's a fumble. It's not for you. The music in the second movie was not for me. I hated the music in the second movie, but you guys loved it. So maybe it's an age gap. I knew all the songs for the most part.
But James Gunn is not your age. All right.
He wrote it for me.
Obviously. So you're saying he dumbed down the music. Is that what you're saying?
How dare you?
How dare you?
But this volume 3 is, and that's cute because, you know, like volume 3 of a greatest hits kind of thing. This is really Rocket's story, and it really is a good one. I really was very much invested in his story. Joel, were you a fan of the Guardian comic books?
I knew of them, but honestly, the entire cosmic realm of the Marvel Universe in the comics was something I knew about, but I didn't really read a lot. So
okay, because I was going to ask if this whole rocket thing was made up for the movie or it was somewhere in the canon.
I read comics as well, Frank.
Yes,
and I did read the Guardians. However, it was a different team. It's the one with Sylvester Stallone, and Ving Rhames made a quick appearance as Charlie 27 in the last one. He was missing from this one. That's the team I knew. There was no Rocket, so I don't know Rocket's story at all. This entire lineup is not the comic that I read. It came later.
Yeah, this lineup that we've seen in the movies is pretty much from like the 90s and forward. So,
like the music.
Yes.
Hi, Bradley Cooper is great. He really is, and and so there's like a bunch of characters. There's way too many characters in this movie too. High Evolutionary is pure evil. This guy, it's a good performance until he started screaming every single line.
Yes.
I'm like, oh,
Agreed.
please,
Agreed.
Mary, calm down. And then, and it was good to see Doug from Up again. That was nice. He got another role. And the the whole talking dog thing, that's right from Up.
Right.
It is.
Yes, it's
Oh.
Cosmo. Cosmo didn't exist as a character until this movie, so
Is that really true?
no.
Oh.
Wasn't he in the Christmas special?
He's in the Christmas special, or rather, she is in the Christmas.
Yeah, well,
special,
I think they
but-
said they made her a she for this movie.
Yes, but Cosmo's been a character in the comic books for decades.
And she made an appearance in the second movie too.
That's
So
true.
they
Yeah.
stole it,
Yeah.
they stole it. So they stole it from Up, stole it from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure.
Yes, sure, because
Translated
nobody has ever had
Okay.
talking dogs
And-
before.
Well, with the collar that translated. That's
Oh,
what I mean.
okay, sure.
How is Gamora not dead again? I forgot.
She is dead. This is another Gamora. This is Gamora from 5 years ago that was in Endgame when Thanos
Right.
came into the future.
And how'd she come back? Oh, she came back. She
Yeah.
She never came back.
No,
The Gamora
No.
that we know is dead. She's gone. That's why she
Right.
doesn't like Peter Quill.
this Gamora traveled from 2014, whenever the fuck it was,
Sure.
and skipped everything between that time and now. Or
And, well, and Endgame in
Right,
2019.
this, is
Endgame.
where this is where she blipped back.
no,
She never
no,
flipped
she didn't
back.
flip
This
back.
is not.
She
This isn't
can't flip
Frank.
back.
Frank, do time travel and go back 5 years ago and meet yourself. It's that self that has missed everything that has happened. So that Frank doesn't know anything that's happened in the next 5 years. And that's
But
the Gamora that we're
how
seeing.
how am I here?
Because you left there and went
In a
here.
time traveling machine?
Time
Yes.
travel.
Yes.
All right.
Because
Obviously.
the Thanos that they killed at the end of Endgame isn't the original Thanos. It's it's a Thanos that lived to a certain point and then jumped ahead 5 years.
Okay, that I didn't know.
I am serious. If you ever want to go back and rewatch Endgame and then watch this again, it will make a lot more sense.
I'm gonna have to do that.
This is not a complex concept.
Yeah.
This is my reaction to that. But I'm glad that they didn't go right back to the will they or won't they thing, and it was a different thing. So I was happy for that. Of course, Drax is great. Groot is fun, and it was cute that he actually said something differently. But why does Chris Pratt have a perm now? All of a sudden, his hair is curly.
Why not?
Yeah.
And he obviously stopped working out because he looked a little not worked out. Didn't take his shirt off, nothing.
He's in mourning. His Gamora's dead.
Oh, so he started drinking and eating.
Yeah.
And not caring. Okay, the corridor scene was brilliant. It really was. With the fight, that was really great. I thought
Sorry, the
What?
corridor scene? What does that mean?
in the corridor when they were, when they were fighting.
The bad guys.
Yeah.
Groot stretched out and they were
Yeah.
cutting up bugs and
Yeah, in the whole
Gotcha.
in the
Yeah.
corridor that was fun. And the first is this the first official drop of the F-bomb in the MCU?
Yes, it is.
It was funny. But I have to say, No Way Home still remains the last great MCU movie. I'm just saying. And the adventure was fine, though I felt like now MCU has become space adventure comedy. Love and Thunder and Quantumania both had the same kind of vibe. And it really was, I think, and correct me, obviously, if you think I'm wrong, but Guardians was the original space adventure comedy thing. And now they're all doing it.
I could see that.
Yeah, to an extent.
Where's the serious MCU movie? Not serious, but you know what I mean? Like it was again. All right.
Black Widow.
Yeah. All right. But it is too long. There's too many new characters. Did we really need Adam Warlock?
Well, and they got him wrong. I'll talk about that.
Wait, was this kid he was in Infinity War?
No, you
No,
have.
What was
Go
he
ahead,
in?
Mark.
Hold on. Yes, he was in Infinity War, the comics book limited series.
But not in the movie.
He is not in the movie version of Infinity War. He makes a very, very brief appearance at the end of Volume 2 because they talk about him because he's in a cocoon of sorts.
Remember the gold lady said, "I shall name you Adam" or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't remember that.
So why did we need him?
Because he's an important character in the Marvel universe, and James Gunn wanted to get him into the MCU, and this is how they did it.
Yeah.
Too many plot lines. Why do I know him though? Will Poulter. What has he done?
We're the Millers.
Oh, we're the Millers. We'll be watching that
Oh,
later.
yeah.
All right, so with him, there's one plot too many. I'm like, man, I didn't really care about him enough when he joined the Hug. It was a big laugh. I'm like, man,
Oh, that was funny.
get off. And of course, again, way too many endings. All right, the movie's over. Oh no, wait.
Yeah.
Movie's over. Oh no, wait. Movie's over. Oh God.
Well, it's their last hurrah. It's like the Return of the King,
Yes, and
everybody needs an ending.
Yeah, and obviously, again, James Gunn obviously loves these characters, and it definitely shows. And I think it was a good ending to the whole. Whoa,
Is that Cosmo?
Yeah,
there's
that's Cosmo
now. And I think it was a good ending to the Guardian saga. Nice. Yeah. And we have the new batch. So I'm going with 3 stars on this one. Annie, what'd you think? You're an MCU fan. This is why you joined us.
Yes, I found it very entertaining. I liked it a lot. I was not like you. I was kind of disappointed that he said something other than "I am Groot." I think I would have preferred it if he just was "I am Groot" the entire time.
Well, I'll address that one at my turn because there's some interesting stuff about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
look, it's Doug. What did Doug say to you right then? Give me a treat.
He said, "If you don't do something, I'm going to keep barking." And
Yeah.
So
but
you want Groot to be just "I am Groot."
I just wanted him to be "I am Groot." So I was a little like, oh, that, while it's sweet, I was like, no, it would have been better if he was just "I am Groot."
All I'll say, Annie, is that I took it as the fact that if everyone else can understand Groot, why can't he understand and he can learn one line over the course of the entire time he's known these people. That's the way I took it.
So
yeah, all he needed to do was put on the dog collar.
So here's what Natasha said, because I felt the same way you did, Annie. I was like, oh, that took me out of the movie. And Natasha says to me, she's like, you know what? I'm believing that he actually did say "I am Groot." But they finally, most of them can understand what he's saying anyway. The reason he said "I love you guys" is so that Gamora, the new Gamora, could understand him. And I was like, all right, I guess I can go with that. And then the next day I read an interview with James Gunn. That's exactly why he did it.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, if he could have been talking all along, we could have been understanding him for 3 movies.
I know. So why didn't he still say "I am Groot" and then there was a subtitle? I love you guys.
Because Gamora wouldn't have seen the subtitle.
That's true.
I would have shown it to her.
The other things, there was a lot going on. So, and I was a little disappointed in the cursing because I took my 10-year-old nephew to go see it. And we're like, oops, but okay. Yes, it's right there. But yeah, I found it entertaining and I didn't know most of the music. I think I knew 2 songs. And
was that your nephew who just said "I'm right here"?
yeah.
Did he also say "fuck yeah"?
Yeah. I knew two of the songs,
The
and
Beastie Boys song.
the Beastie Boys song and the Florence and the Machine song.
Oh, okay.
And then I felt that the Bruce Springsteen song would have worked really well in in the fight sequences and stuff. I thought it was a very upbeat one, and disappointed that they chose to put in the credits. But that's just because I'm a Springsteen fan, I think. And
Which Bruce Springsteen song was it?
Badlands.
Oh, Badlands.
Yeah.
You didn't stay, did you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I absolutely did.
He's no amateur.
No, there was one movie he didn't stay
Yeah,
for the.
yeah, he didn't stay for the second one, right?
But yeah, I love the stories. You know, I thought it was time for Rocket stories. So it was really cool. I like that. So I'm going. Danny had a lot of more nits to pick with it. He didn't like it as much
Let's
as
get
the
him
other
on.
two.
Let's get him on here. Hear what he has to say.
Yeah, he would have come on today because he had a lot of nits, but he has many things to take care of today. But yeah, I'm going with 3.25 stars.
And what did you say?
Annie just said something that made me think of something, and it already went out of my head because I didn't take notes. And I said, "Oh, I got to mention that."
It's tough to take notes in a theater. Every
Oh, yeah.
time I went back to my phone to type, the guy next to me went.
Oh, I would never do that. Rude as fuck.
I'm like,
You're lucky
"Son,
that's all he did.
remember
Yeah.
that?"
When
Yeah, you're
somebody's
in-
10
you're-
rows away from me, I'm like, "Calm
You're in
down."
Florida. There's that, you know, you can carry a gun wherever the hell you want now.
Right?
That's true.
I did know Badlands and No Sleep Till
No
Brooklyn.
Sleep.
Love No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I did think the movie ended at one point. It was before I think all the kids showed up, the fucking kids. But when Drax said, "Come on, morons," or whatever he said, I cracked up. I
When-
just love that character.
When he addressed them as "Hello, dumb idiots," I was
Yeah, and then later he's called them morons.
Yes.
I just love him.
Yeah.
And I have always said this about Guardians. Guardians really still knows how to do comedy with the MCU. So I really love the Guardians. But there was a point, I think, before the kids showed up where I thought, oh, the movie's over. And then it continued on and on and on. And my friend leaned over to me and she said, "Do you believe we have another 30 minutes to go?" And I was like, "What?" And I said to Scott, "We have 30 more minutes." And I couldn't believe it. Again, another movie that's just too long. It did not need to be 2.5 hours long. And the guy, what's his name, who was, chasing after Rocket, was driving me crazy with his obsession and the screaming. And when Rocket, who I do believe was named after Rocky Raccoon, and this was all made up, but I could be wrong. But when he went to see all the raccoons, and of course it said raccoons, and he realized he really is a raccoon after all these years. I love that.
Yeah.
But I kept saying to myself, "Don't cry. They're not real. They're not really going to die." And I needed a tissue. I was like, "Damn you, James Gunn." But I had read so many things about what they do with animals. And I thought, okay, this really isn't that bad. They're clearly not animals, but it was still very sad when all his friends like Poof and everybody. Oh.
It was PETA approved.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. But the raccoons got me. And Annie, I wish I could remember what I was going to say after you just said it. Maybe it'll come to me and I'll jump in. So I'm going to give it 3 stars because I think it's my least liked of the 3 Guardians movies. I think. I was like, I don't need to see this one again. But I liked it. I really did want to like the music. I really did want to know the music.
Mark G.
I had a different experience. I will say the first 15 minutes or so, I was not liking it, and then something clicked, and it got much better for me. And I really enjoyed for the rest of the film. Obviously, with some nits as well, with the high evolutionary screaming and a few things here and there. But as I was saying before, the mega nerds are going to be pissed out there because Adam Warlock is a very wise and powerful being. So here he's a mama's boy doofus. I mean, it is a complete change in character. And I have no idea if they did a storyline like this where, because people die and then are reborn or something else. So for all I know, that this is a version of him, but I don't think so. I think they just made it work for this, and they went for the comedy instead. It didn't bother me, but I could see people, like, I'm a big Wolverine guy. So if they made Wolverine into a completely different character, I'd be pissed. So
Yeah.
can somebody explain to me how the High Evolutionary can be, in Gamora's words, 1,000 times stronger than the Guardians? And then he got his ass beaten and his face eaten by a fucking raccoon out of nowhere. That even though Rocket's been,
It's like when a kid gets caught under the car and the mom can lift the car. That's how mad Rocket was. Adrenaline.
no.
Well, it's also the High Evolutionary was in shock that this little fuzzball, could actually, affect him in some manner. So, you add those two together and it's fine.
Sure. And I loved Lila and that whole story. But was anybody else disappointed that Linda Cardellini was stepping out in Hawkeye? It's the same actress for anyone who doesn't know. I don't remember this. How are they seeing Rocket's past? How is like Star-Lord so pissed at what the High Evolutionary did? Because he saw it. He saw his memories. I don't remember how. I'm just asking.
The file that they
The
took.
file, yeah.
Okay, so they put the file in and actually showed them testing
What-
on it. Okay, thank you. I wasn't in the bathroom. I just don't remember what the hell happened. Thank you. Bad Dog. That for me was bad writing. It wasn't funny and it was overdone. And I said, okay, he's gonna do something to save the day, and they're gonna say Good Dog. I saw they're coming a mile away.
Oh,
a mile
sure.
away.
Of course.
Yeah. That was like SNL.
But I just think to a dog making it the most important thing in the world is being called bad dog, good dog. I thought it was cute.
I got it, but I didn't think they
It was
executed it
abused.
well. Put it that way.
What?
It was definitely abused. It went on too long.
Oh,
Yeah. I personally loved Open the Fucking Door. However, I'm going to be a little adulty here and say that these movies are PG-13 for a reason. They are family. They should keep the F-bombs and nudity out. Even I don't want nudity in the MCU and F-bombs. But having said that, that line was hilarious. I came home. I didn't realize it was the only F-bomb at the time. I came home and told Danielle that line and how funny it was. But that's my little thing on that. I love the soundtrack. I guess it really does make a difference because that song I texted you, Amy, In the Meantime by Space Hog. I haven't heard that. That used to be my jam back in the day. So the fact that they put it in there, which you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I guess. I loved it. I really, for me, this was much better than Guardians #2. Guardians #2 had like 2 songs that I knew and even enjoyed. And overall, the story I didn't love. This made me laugh a lot more. So for me, it's going to be a very hearty 3.5. I can't wait to see this again when it comes out on video.
Why don't you go see it
It's
again in the
Jimmy.
movie theater?
No, they got my
No.
$9 or whatever.
Take your wife.
We're going to watch it here.
Okay.
Frank, did I give you my stars?
3 no, just 3.
No, 3 stars, you said.
Now, see,
Which
the
is
the
right.
problem is I can't remember what I gave the other 2 films at this point. So
Yeah.
All right. You want to look it up? Amy?
No.
Go ahead.
because you have to go to work.
Sure.
I'm aware of the time.
Well, of course,
7
it's
minutes
Monday
ago.
morning, Joel. It's we all
Right,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
7 minutes. Go.
I enjoyed the movie a lot. It's yes, it was a little too long, but I couldn't tell you what needed to go.
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock didn't bother me as much as anybody else, including Mark, because I know him from the comics. I understand who he is, but I also figure like they were playing it as he just came out of the cocoon, so he doesn't know anything. He has to be guided by Aisha in some way, and that worked for me. It may not be the character, but I think if they bring him back at some point, he'll grow into that, you know.
Joel, did you get a Rocky Horror feel from him? Like he's like the
Yes.
perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
who Adam Warlock. From what I remember, that's who he's supposed to be. He's like, you know, a perfect specimen of whatever.
Yeah, but he was very intelligent.
Yes, but I don't think he was born that way. I think he, you know, learned that. But that's just me, you know. I didn't mind him as much. You know, the joke between Cosmo and Kraglin, you know, I don't think it went on too long. You didn't see them often enough to really matter, and it was cute. I love the fact that it is an emotional story, that Rocket's story is very involving and emotional, and I think they played it off very well. I wish that my seatmates weren't like bawling throughout half the movie, but
Ah,
and I was glad I was only sitting next to Natasha and not between her and Sue, because I would have had it in stereo. But it was fun. I liked it better than the second film. I think the High Evolutionary is a more interesting and complex villain, aside from the screaming at the end, than Ego was. Ego was kind of a bit of a letdown to me in the process. Soundtrack doesn't bother me at all. I love anything that, I don't need to know every song in a movie. If the songs are used well enough, I'll remember them and be like, oh, where did that song come from? What's its history? And then I'll go listen to it and buy the soundtrack. That's what the soundtrack's supposed to do for a movie like this. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie,
And I'm sorry for spoiling the soundtrack for you, Joel.
You didn't spoil it.
but I'm more obviously in the Martin Scorsese soundtrack era
Yes, I get that.
than either of those.
You're a contemporary of his.
Yes, exactly.
I like the fact that James Gunn really did wrap these characters up nicely, and he leaves them all in a place where if the MCU needed them for some reason, they're all available for something. So, a couple of them I don't think we'll ever see again, at least not played by those actors. They may, switch them out, because Dave Bautista and Zoe Saldana have pretty much said that they have no intention of ever playing those parts again. But
Wait, I noticed when her title came up, it had a tilde over the end.
Yeah.
So Zoe Saldana.
oh,
Yeah.
all right, well,
Like, have we all been pronouncing it wrong this whole
Always
time?
been a
I don't
tilde?
remember seeing. I don't remember.
I don't remember. If it is, I apologize to her.
Yes, of course. We all apologize, though.
Yeah.
Yes, for the
Uh,
Latin woman.
I like to get people's names right, but in any case, Chris Pratt and Karen Gillan have both said that they'd be more than happy to keep going, and obviously, I assume that Sean Gunn would keep playing Kraglin if necessary. So
Why wouldn't he?
even without
I'm
his
gonna
book.
do whatever James puts him in. I mean,
Well, but but James
Nepo.
will most likely not be coming back to the MCU anytime soon. So
Right.
so
he has
Sean's
to
gonna
go-
start showing up in DC movies now.
well,
Exactly.
he's already been in DC movies. James
Okay.
Gunn did the Suicide Squad between volumes 2 and 3. So
All I remember was he was an idiot on Gilmore Girls. That's all I remember.
oh, he was in not this week's episode, but last week's episode of the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So
Ah, well, she likes him too, obviously.
yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna give it because I can't.
Wait, do you want to know your previous stars before you give it?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sure. Yes, please. Midge, shut the hell up. Thank you. Sorry.
You could have F-bombed there.
There's
Yeah.
people listening.
Fuck that. The first one, Frank gave it 3. I gave it 3 1/4, and you two gave it 3 1/2.
Okay.
Mark and Annie. Oh, Joel, I don't have one for you.
You're useless.
Yeah. I do have it for the second one, but let me just double check that. Next week's episode, Guardians of the Galaxy. We had 1 3-star review. Amy said 3 1/4. Oh, Joel, Mark, and Annie. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You went with 3
3
1/2.
and a half. Okay.
And for the last one, you all went with 3 stars, and I went with 3 3/4.
3 3/4.
Yeah.
Okay. So then this tracks where I was heading anyway. I was going to give it 3 1/4. So
Right in between the two.
exactly. It is. To me, it was a better film than the second one. Not as good as the first one, but still very satisfying. So
And may I also point out the first one had the best soundtrack. So there you go.
It did.
did everybody see the holiday special before seeing this or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I was just
All
curious.
right, so now it's time to discuss the post-credit sequence. The first one was the new Guardians going off on a new adventure. Okay.
There was I read about this. I don't know who she is, but the little girl is part of the MCU. She's like, remember Captain Marvel from Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Marvel. Her name is like, what is it, Joel?
It's like
Whatever her-
Phyla or something.
Phyla Vel. So
Yeah.
she's like a Captain Marvel. So who knows if she's going to show up in the Marvels later this year? I have no idea. But
Oh,
she's
yeah.
part of that universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And any other comments on that?
Yeah. Who says it? On your left, when they go in that scene when they're about to fight all those things, someone says on your left, which is a throwback to Captain America and the Falcon.
Oh,
It was just nice to see, okay, the Guardians still exist in some manner. Maybe we'll see them again at some point.
Okay. And then the second one was Peter having breakfast with his grandfather. The funny thing was, for me, was the front of the newspaper, obviously, because it
Kevin
says
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon tells all, and that relates to the holiday special. And then, whatever this it means to anybody, it said the legendary Star-Lord will return. So, what does that mean? Who knows?
I guess because since the first movie, no one knew who he was, and now he's
Now he's
legendary.
legendary.
And actually, in the comics, there was a version where he was known as the legendary Star-Lord, as opposed to just Star-Lord.
Yeah, but who knows where and when he's going to return?
I have to assume, based on what we know about what is coming in the rest of Phase 5 and Phase 6,
What's the new thing called?
the
Kang
new
Dynasty.
Kang Dynasty?
yeah, there's 2 Avengers titled films coming out in 2025 and 2026 or something like that. The Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars. My assumption is that those will have everybody they could possibly have in them. So I'm assuming we will at least have seen Star-Lord for those, if not a sooner appearance.
At least for Secret Wars, everyone's showing up for Secret Wars.
Yeah, well, they should if it's
Well,
what it's
so
supposed to
Joel and Mark, your assignment obviously is to read Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars before then.
Oh, I've read Secret Wars many times.
be. Yeah, and except for the fact that the movies that they've done that have been titled after comic book stories are completely different.
I know, but then when we do our review, I'll say, is this from the comic book? And you'll know.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's your job.
Okay.
I'll take Secret Wars. Joel, you can take Kang Dynasty.
Not a problem. I think I've got it here somewhere. So
I don't.
Great. All right.
ask one question that I forgot to
No.
ask, but it's from a member of our audience, Nan, and for me. I need a reminder of what is the difference between the MCU and Marvel movies? She's like, well, did you see this? And I said, no, it's not part of the MCU. And she was like, but Samuel Jackson is in it. I said, but it's not the MCU.
what movie is she talking about?
I don't remember.
Well,
But
that
there were
doesn't-
things that came on Disney, like TV shows, and they had Marvel characters, and we were like, that's not part of the MCU.
Okay, so
Well, TV shows is a whole different thing.
any movie that was made before Iron Man is technically not part of the MCU. And
Yeah.
any movie that was made after Iron Man, but made by either Sony or Fox, is technically not part of the MCU.
That's it right there.
Okay. However, with the whole multiverse thing and the fact that we've seen Patrick Stewart and we've seen a couple of other people, like the other 2 Spider-Men, so obviously those are part of the Marvel multiverse, and all of those movies could technically be part of the MCU now. What she might have been talking about might have been the TV shows.
Yeah.
As far as TV shows are concerned, the only official MCU shows as of right now are the ones that have premiered on Disney Plus.
The ones we reviewed.
Right.
Yeah.
However, there is a possibility that the 5, 6, however many of the Netflix shows, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and the Defenders, and the Punisher, may or may not be part of the MCU. We won't know until the new Daredevil show premieres.
Well, and
Because-
he showed up in
Yeah. There's
Spider-Man.
there's nothing we've seen of Daredevil or Kingpin in the MCU, since they're played by the same actors, that contradicts anything really in those other shows. But we won't know for sure until the others either show up or don't show up, or they allude to things that did or didn't happen. So
I think it's just a convenient pick and choose.
yeah, it probably
If
is.
they want to include something, they do.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Is that it?
Yeah.
Were you- all right,
What's
great.
next week?
All right. Guardians is only available in the theaters right now. And next time, Joel is up with the Hudsucker Proxy, which is our third Coen Brothers film this year. How funny.
Yeah.
But it's not available on any streaming service, so rent it. MFs.
Rent the fucking movie.
I'm Frank Gaffney. We'll MCU next week.
And also with you.